Yes, my friends, things are heating up in Philly, and all signs point to a busy week behind the scenes for the Eagles. You already know Howie Roseman, a true mastermind when it comes to making the right calls and staying ahead of the game. The Philadelphia Eagles have an important decision to make before August arrives, and the anticipation is through the roof. I'll admit it, I'm counting down the minutes to see our team soaring high once again in this brand new season. If you believe we're headed back to the Super Bowl, don't wait. Smash that like button and say it loud with me. Go Birds, in Howie we trust. Jaylen Carter missed practice once again today, making it 3 straight absences at Eagles training camp due to a lingering shoulder issue. While fans are naturally concerned, NFL Network insider Mike Garafolo brought some relief with his report that there's nothing of great concern regarding Carter's injury. That's notable because despite the absence, the Eagles have not placed him on the physically unable to perform list or the non-football injury list, suggesting they believe he'll be back on the field soon. Given his dominance last year, earning second-team All-Pro honors, it's a relief to hear he's expected to return without long-term complications. The injury news doesn't stop with Carter. Fortunately, there's good news elsewhere. Kenyon Green, acquired in the C.J. Gardner-Johnson trade, made his training camp debut today with the offensive line, marking a positive step forward for depth and rotation in the trenches. On the defensive side, rookie linebacker Jihad Campbell is quickly making waves. Despite falling to the Eagles in the draft, due to previous injury concerns, Campbell arrived at camp fully healthy and has already earned first-team reps alongside Zach Bond. Just 3 practices in, and Campbell is being groomed for a potential Week 1 start against the Cowboys. The former IMG Academy product was initially recruited to Alabama as a pass
rusher, but transitioned to off-ball linebacker after injuries at the position during his collegiate years. That transition paid off, and his unique blend of length, speed, 4.5 in the 40, and instinct has caught the attention of coaches, teammates, and media alike. Zach Bond, who switched to off-ball linebacker last season and ended up a first-team All-Pro, seems to have found an ideal pairing in Campbell. The idea of a Bond-Campbell combo to open the season is gaining serious momentum. It would mark a significant milestone for the Eagles, as they haven't had a homegrown linebacker with this much potential in years. Jeremiah Trotter Jr. is still in the mix and having a solid camp, bringing strong football instincts and legacy credentials, but the physical upside with Campbell is simply superior. Now, let's pivot to the offense. New offensive coordinator Kevin Patullo gave his first media appearance of training camp and dropped some significant insights. The biggest storyline? Jalen Hurts is about to play under his 6th different play caller since 2020. That's right, Doug Peterson, Nick Sirianni, Shane Steichen, Brian Johnson, Kellen Moore, and now Patullo. Despite this revolving door, Hurts has thrived, becoming a Super Bowl MVP and cementing himself as one of the top quarterbacks in the league. That speaks volumes about his adaptability and football IQ. Patullo, who has been with Sirianni since their Colts days in 2018, made it clear that while there will be tweaks, the core of the Eagles' offense won't change. He plans to build off what's already working while integrating more creative play designs and concepts. He emphasized the importance of sticking to the Eagles' identity, dominant offensive line play, a powerful rushing attack, and taking shots downfield with Hurts' elite deep ball accuracy. Patullo even declared that Hurts is the best deep ball thrower in the league right now. Considering weapons like A.J. Brown and DeVonta Smith, both elite receivers, it makes perfect sense to keep that vertical threat alive. And speaking of that passing game, there's a heated battle brewing for wide receiver depth. Jahan Dotson is showing flashes, while Danny Gray and Terrace Marshall, both fighting for roster spots, had standout moments in today's session. Gray, with his 4.3 speed, and Marshall, a big-bodied target with 4.4 speed, each got first-team reps and looked sharp. They're pushing Anaya Smith and Johnny Wilson hard for those WR4 and WR5 spots. Let's not overlook the defense either. Jordan Davis appears to be in the best shape of his career. He's noticeably slimmer, quicker, and has been collapsing the pocket during multiple drills. With his 5th-year option already picked up and a long-term extension on the line, Davis seems poised for a breakout season. And don't forget his impact in last year's postseason, one of the highest-graded defensive tackles in the playoffs. That momentum looks to be carrying into 2025. Christian Ellis and undrafted rookie Jalen Hunt are also making noise on the defensive front. Hunt even drew a comparison to Micah Parsons from Jordan Mailata. Yes, that's how impressive he's been. The pass rush overall has been relentless through 3 practices. That includes pressure from Nicholas Morrow and rookies like Jake Samo. Howie Roseman's decision not to make a splashy veteran edge signing seems increasingly justified by the youth stepping up across the board. In the secondary, the battle at cornerback opposite Quinyon Mitchell is heating up. Adoree Jackson, the seasoned veteran, got the first-team reps over Khalid Ringo for the second consecutive day. It appears that Vic Fangio, known for his preference for experienced DBs, is leaning towards stability over upside, at least for now. Still, Ringo isn't far behind, and despite giving up a deep shot to A.J. Brown today, the coverage was tight. It was simply better offense beating good defense. C.J. Gardner-Johnson's departure may have opened up a leadership void in the secondary, but Sidney Brown is stepping up early in camp. He got first-team safety reps today, signaling that the coaching staff trusts his development. Brown's range, energy, and versatility make him an intriguing piece in Fangio's system. And we can't close this first half without talking about the quarterback room. Dorian Thompson-Robinson had his best practice yet with the Eagles, completing a tough throw over the middle and flashing the tools that made him a mid-round target. There's potential there, but the Eagles are likely to keep developing him slowly, especially considering how strong the front office has been at grooming QBs. Just look at Hurts and Tanner McKee. Historically, Philly has been one of the best quarterback factories in the NFL, going back to the days of Andy Reid. Jalen Hurts also gave an interview to NFL Network where he emphasized looking forward, not backward. He spoke about keeping the team focused on what lies ahead, rather than basking in last season's glory. That mentality is contagious and reflects the leadership culture he and Sirianni have established. When asked about his early rapport with Kevin Patullo, Hurts said their ongoing communication over the years has laid a strong foundation for this year's offense. According to Hurts, Patullo has been leading with conviction, and that clarity has made a difference. Now let me hear from you. What do you make of Jihad Campbell's rise and the possibility of him starting next to Zach Bond on opening night? Let's continue right where we left off, because if Jihad Campbell ends up locking down that starting linebacker spot next to Zach Bond, it's going to speak volumes not only about his individual development but also about how much faith this coaching staff has in him. Vic Fangio is not the kind of defensive coordinator who hands out first-team reps lightly. He's meticulous, strategic, and has a deep understanding of defensive football, so when a rookie like Campbell makes this kind of leap so early in training camp, it means something. And what we're seeing with Campbell is more than just raw talent. His ability to read plays, move fluidly in space, and match up with tight ends and running backs in coverage is already putting him ahead of where many rookies are at this point. Let's not forget, this is someone who had to adapt in college, switch roles, and still thrive. That type of mental toughness and versatility is exactly what you want from a starting linebacker in today's NFL, where schemes are getting more complex and offenses are constantly shifting personnel to create mismatches. Now, shifting back to the offense, let's talk more about Jalen Hurts' performance. Sure, he didn't have his sharpest day statistically, 15 completions on 24 attempts, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, but even when he's not perfect, he's showing leadership, control, and smart decision-making. There were a few batted passes at the line of scrimmage today,